Thank you very much, and distinguished faculty, alumni, family and friends of the members of the class of 2006, and most of all to the graduates of the class of 2006. It's been exactly 30 years ago I received my Ph.D. in biology from UCLA and was extremely excited from what I had accomplished and about my future. The university has changed significantly since I was a graduate student here, and it's great to be back and see the growth of the campus and look out and see the rich diversity of the student body. So it is really with distinct pleasure to celebrate your achievements with you. All of you have a lot to be proud of, and your graduation today represents a major milestone in your life. Your future is bright because you have prepared yourselves to meet the many challenges ahead. For some of you, that challenge will be continuing on in graduate or professional schools. For others, it will be starting a new job as a first step in your career. Whatever choice you make, you have laid a solid foundation for success. I congratulate you on your achievements. I would also like to recognize and congratulate the families that are here today. The accomplishments of these graduates would not have been possible without your support, guidance, and sacrifices you have made. If you are the first in your family to earn a college degree, I'd like to extend a special recognition to you, because as the first college graduate in my family, I understand your special sense of pride and accomplishment. For those of you who made financial sacrifices, I can also tell you firsthand that the investment you made is an investment in your future and well worth any financial sacrifices you made. And for those of you who may have taken a little bit longer to graduate than your peers, the difference in time is not relevant whatsoever. It's what you do from this point on that will determine your future. Now, I have worked for the last almost 3 decades in the pharmaceutical industry, all spent in research and development. I started as a bench scientist, fresh out of a postdoctoral position, also here at UCLA in the Molecular Biology Institute, and worked at various levels within industry to my current role as President of Research and Development. So I'd like to take a few minutes to share with you some of my experiences in the industry, and then I'll end with just a few comments about some personal attributes that were very important to me as I pursued my career in the industry. I think during the past decade, 3 decades, I've seen major technological advances which have changed the face of how we discover new therapeutics. In the late 1970s through the 1980s, recombinant DNA technology allowed us to clone and express genes and proteins, which became therapeutic medicines or targets for therapeutic medicines. In the 1990s, structure-based drug design allowed us to rationally design inhibitors of enzymes. Today, genomics, proteomics, bioinformatics, combinatorial chemistry, parallel synthesis chemistry, coupled with high-throughput assays using robotics, allows us to identify therapeutic targets and lead compounds significantly quicker today and more efficiently than ever before. During the last 3 decades, I've also seen major advances in the discovery of drugs to treat hypertension, to treat high cholesterol levels, asthma, osteoporosis, hepatitis B and hepatitis C infections, depression, autoimmune disease, and HIV/AIDS. Some of these new advances I have been directly involved in. Many of the advances, though, have been made in diseases. These diseases were due to chemists and biologists working side by side, exploring new frontiers in basic science and medicine. And although much has been done to treat many devastating diseases, the therapies many times control symptoms. They are not cures. There's still much to do. The journey is not finished, but I have never been more optimistic in my career about the future of new drug discovery. With the recent completion of the human genome and the genome of other model organisms, I am convinced we will begin to understand the molecular basis of many diseases where today treatment is only marginally effective. we are beginning to make inroads towards understanding the molecular basis of neurodegenerative diseases, such as Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease. Targeted therapy for various cancers has become a reality. The drug Gleevec blocks a specific enzyme, a tyrosine kinase, in certain types of leukemia cells and blocks their proliferation. Herceptin, an antibody which blocks the receptor HER2/neu, which is overexpressed in some cancers and causes proliferation of cancer cells, has shown dramatic benefit in women with breast cancer, whose cancers express this receptor. And although we have not found a vaccine cure for HIV/AIDS, major advances are still being made in laboratories around the world. Discovery of new drugs that block the ability of the virus to infect and replicate in T cells and macrophages is an ongoing area of research interest that's being pursued. We're also beginning to understand why some people respond to specific drug therapy versus those that don't by understanding the mutation patterns of genes that predispose individuals to disease. The use of pharmacogenomics to help guide clinical studies will have a major impact on accelerating the development of new therapies. However, as we tackle these deadly diseases, we must not lose sight of the emergence of resistant infectious diseases in our society. For many years now, we've taken for granted the availability of antibiotics to treat bacterial infections. However, there have been no new novel classes of antibiotics discovered in the last 2 decades. Attention must be paid to the discovery and development of new classes of antibiotics, an area of research that today is actually receiving little attention in both the biotech and pharmaceutical industries. But I think finally, as I look to the future, I think we're truly entering the golden age of new drug discovery, driven by an understanding of the human genome, coupled with technological advances in science. But in the final analysis, advances in science are made by creative scientists who recognize interesting problems to solve and are given the freedom to pursue them. So as some of you think about your careers in science, I hope you will consider the challenge of discovering and developing innovative therapies that can have an impact on human lives. It has been extremely rewarding to me to know what I do contributes to the health of people around the world. I'd now like to take the next few minutes sharing with you some personal experiences and attributes that have been important to me in my career. And I hope you find these comments useful as you continue on in yours. I always thought, first as a scientist, I think scientific excellence is critical. As a scientist, I felt it was always important to publish my work in peer-reviewed journals, give oral presentations at scientific meetings, and talk with other experts in my field. I have maintained these activities throughout my career, and they have been a critical element for my continued growth as a scientist. Even today, as you heard, I maintain a basic research laboratory despite having a lot of administrative responsibilities. So whatever career you choose, continue to strive for excellence. I think it's also important to develop strong oral and written communication skills. I'll never forget as a graduate student at UCLA, my graduate advisor, Joe Cascarano, made his students give scientific seminars to other graduate students and faculty every single quarter. I used to absolutely hate the idea of doing it, but as time went on, it became easier and easier. And as I look back upon that experience, it probably was one of the most important skills I learned as a graduate student, how to articulate the science you're involved in. So don't forget building your communication skills because they're critical to your future success. If you decide to enter the workforce, it is important to develop strategies to solve problems. Albert Einstein said, in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. Companies today are under intense pressure to stay competitive and want people who have positive attitudes and find innovative ways to solve problems. George Washington Carver, a famous Afro-American scientist, said, 99% of the failures come from people who have a habit of making excuses. It's also important to be open to pursuing opportunities wherever they exist. This may mean moving to other parts of the country or even moving outside the United States. I spent 5 years in Montreal, Canada, heading the Merck Research Laboratories there, and that experience was critical to my own development, but also important experience for my family. We experienced a different culture, and our daughters learned to speak a second language. You also must keep abreast of new technologies. All companies want to improve their productivity, and many improvements are driven by technological advancements. When I look back on the past 28 years in our industry, I think the one thing that has changed most dramatically has been the use of computers in our day-to-day management of our work, which has significantly improved our productivity as a company. Teamwork is also critical to the success of projects in industry. The discovery and development of a drug requires expertise across many scientific disciplines. To be successful, you must work as part of a team, and many awards in industry are given to team of scientists, not single individuals. It's important to be goal-oriented and develop skills to juggle conflicting or competing priorities in the workplace. It is important to prioritize projects and allocate resources to projects that have the best chance to succeed. Since our workforce is diverse, you must work and be tolerant of other cultures and races. Most large pharmaceutical companies, or large companies in general, are multinational. We have laboratories in many parts of the world, and the success of our research projects depend on a close interaction with scientists from different parts of the world. You must be persistent in your work and set challenging goals for yourself. I have been told over the years by people that I could not be or do certain things. It is very important that you never let others impose limits for you. You must choose the path you need to take. In order to progress in my career, I had to take certain risks. You cannot be afraid of failure, because the lessons you learn from failing can help you succeed in other situations. You must truly love what you are doing. My career in science has been fun, and through science I have met people from all over the world and have developed lasting friendships. To be successful, you must work hard. I firmly believe there is no substitute for hard work. You must also be persistent. Calvin Coolidge said, "Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful people with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated failures. Persistence and determination are omnipotent." And I know in my own personal career, persistence and determination were as important as anything else. So remember what William Arthur Ward once wrote: "If you can imagine it, you can achieve it. If you can dream it, you can become it." So to the graduates of the class of 2006, strive for excellence in your chosen field. Set challenging goals. Work hard. Be persistent. Develop outstanding communication skills. Treat all people with respect and dignity. And I'm certain you will meet the challenges ahead and excel in whatever endeavor you may choose. Again, my heartfelt congratulations. The future is yours. Now go to it. Thank you very much.